Hey everybody, Livingston here. Today we're going to dive into another fun-filled episode of the Twilight Zone. This time it's Season 3, Episode 22, A Piano in the House. Came out February 16th, 1962, and another episode I haven't seen before. But before we get started, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to continue on this voyage to Episode 156 of the Twilight Zone. Now, let's jump into your comments for last week's episode, Kick the Can, and see what you had to say about it. Natalie Compton says, why do retirement homes and nursing homes treat elderly people like babies? I can't stand them. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of them either. I had a grandmother who was in a nursing home, and I loved going to see her, just didn't like the circumstances of her being there. And I'm not exactly sure why some people treat elderly people like babies. It's kind of crazy that we do that sometimes, and maybe people do it and they just don't mean to. They're just trying to be sweet and loving and maybe not come off as harsh. And some elderly people, they have to basically be talked to that way, I guess, if they're not all the way there and you're trying to be sweet and subtle with them. So maybe there's different reasons, and maybe sometimes it's because we believe that somebody's not there totally mentally, that all old people are that way, and it's not true. There are quite a few people who are elderly that actually get along just fine and have the mind of a 20-year-old, but their body isn't matched up with how they think. So, oh well, I guess they just kind of get lumped into it, and we need to be more mindful of that, I suppose. Jonathan Stein says, this is a good enough episode with its reflection on age and youth, but I think the remake in the movie gives it more depth. Yeah, I agree with that. After sitting on it for about a week, I basically came to the conclusion that I like the movie segment better than this one. I know last week I said that I like this one better than the movie segment, but it was right after I watched it. I really enjoyed it, and I actually went and revisited the other segment from the 80s, and I gotta say, I just like the tone of it more. It's more lighthearted. Actually leaves you at the very end with the best friend basically having hope that he could actually join his friend in youth at some point down the line. In the television show, they didn't do that, and I was kind of sad to see that they didn't leave us with hope that he might join his friend at some point. But yeah, very true. I do agree with you there, Jonathan. Rick Cadet 143 says the rest home superintendent is John Marley, who later played the movie mogul in The Godfather, who wakes up with a horse head in his bed. Oh, that was him. I didn't realize. That's cool to know. Slim Plum 691 says, this is a pretty meh episode. I enjoy the whole series, though, so it's always great to see a new reaction up. Hey, I enjoy all the episodes, too. There are different variations of how much I enjoy it, but I really enjoyed this episode, actually. I liked it better than the one from last week, so, and I also liked that I was comparing it with the segment from the 80s movie, which if anybody hasn't seen, it's definitely a great watch with a lot of people that you've probably seen in movies here and there. I won't give away who's all in it, but definitely a fun watch. Sean Bumstead 1250 says they did a 80s movie called Cocoon where alien pods make seniors more vibrant and healthy. Yeah, somebody brought that up in the comment section last week, talking about what 80s movie was a lot like this segment, which everybody was thinking that it was the Twilight Zone, the segment, the movie that came out in the 80s. And so I thought Cocoon as well when that was being discussed in last week's comments, and maybe that was the case. We never got an answer or a reply back to it. Jack Dorsey 4850 says a good Twilight Zone Western is The Grave, starring Lee Marvin. That was a good episode. I definitely enjoyed that one. I think that was that either earlier this season or last season's episode, but yeah, definitely like that one. Anyways, let's jump into the episode and see what we're getting into.
The Twilight Zone.
Looking dapper.
Hello? Is anyone there?
And he wears gloves. I kind of wish we still wore clothing that way today. More of a sophisticated time.
Is anyone there?
This guy's not answering.
How do you do? I'm Fitzgerald Fortune,
Okay.
the theater critic.
So what?
What you want?
I seem to have discovered a misanthrope.
What's that?
A man who despises people.
Work to do, mister. What are you looking for?
I am looking for a present for my wife's birthday.
Wrong place, wrong place. Junk shop.
Junk shop.
So, do you happen to have one of those old pianos that plays itself?
Got one. Don't know if it works or not. It's old.
Splendid.
Can I look at it?
Do you mind showing it to me, please?
Yeah, man. You want to make a sale? Oh, where did I put it? It's hard to misplace a piano. Hey, it works.
What birthday does this make for your wife?
The 26th.
So young.
26.
You must be a man of great personal magnetism to attract a wife so young.
I am.
Well, that's good.
Youth and wisdom, hand in hand. You're giving her the gift of music. Oh, how touching.
Isn't it?
Quiet nook where you can be lost together in the midst of the great world, looking into each other's eyes.
How much for the piano?
$2.
It's worth $250.
Ooh.
Since it's for a birthday present, now that you have it for $200.
Has it occurred to you that you're extraordinarily susceptible to the power of music?
Isn't everybody?
Very strange way of acting. Uh-oh.
You're going to stand around all day taking my good time?
Totally different. So what does the piano do? Make you feel a certain way? Changes the person who's sitting at it?
Extraordinary.
Ain't it?
Mr. Fitzgerald Fortune. Because before this evening is over, that cranky old piano is going to play those piano roll blues with some effects that could happen only in
The Twilight Zone. Why is this guy's voice so familiar to me? I've definitely heard him speak before. The butler?
Good evening, sir. Oh, Marvin, if you're going to wait at the party tonight, do you think you could manage to do something about your face? Do you think you could manage to be a little less miserable than usual?
Is that you, Gerald?
Yes, Esther.
Hello, darling.
Esther, I want you to let Marvin go.
Hello.
Hate to come home every evening and be confronted by that lugubrious expression of his. Look at him. Looks as if he's going to burst into tears at any moment.
There's no need to hurt his feelings, dear.
Oh, he has no feelings. The man's a clod.
Damn, tell me how you really feel.
The piano, I take it.
Oh, I love the piano. I really do. I didn't know how it worked, so I thought I'd wait until you came home.
Oh.
See, I remembered that you wanted to learn to play the piano.
Piano plays itself.
Yes, wasn't that considerate of me? I didn't want you to take all those tedious lessons and then find out at the end of it all that you really had no musical talent at all. No thanks for my birthday present? No emotion of any kind?
Thank you, Gerald.
You're welcome.
Has a happy enough sounding title.
So the guy likes to control things. Very opinionated.
Marvin, what on earth is the matter with you?
He's smiling.
I'm very well, thank you, madam.
But you're smiling.
Am I?
Why is it affecting him?
Certainly are.
That's probably because I'm happy, sir.
So does it make grumpy people happy?
Money, got a nice place to live, my health, money in the bank, I like my job. You tickle me. Sometimes it's all I can do to keep from laughing out loud.
Oh. Oh dear.
Sorry if I spoke out of place. Oh, on the contrary, Marvin. I'm very glad you did.
What a strange thing to happen.
Yes, wasn't it? Of course, I've always believed that we have two faces. But the problem has always been to find some method to make people reveal their hidden faces.
So does a different song make you feel a different emotion? Erratic music. How's this gonna affect her?
I've controlled myself for 6 years,
Pissing her off.
and I can't stand it any longer.
Say it.
I was a stupid child when I married you. I thought you were a great man, but you aren't. You're just a sadistic fiend.
Oh,
Take pleasure in humiliating me in front of your clever friends.
this tells you the truth.
You enjoy hurting me.
What you really want to say.
Are you feeling well, my dear?
Isn't this Fly of the Bumblebee?
And I felt for years. I thought you needed me. I thought you needed my love, but you don't. I tried to love you. Heaven knows I did. I hate you.
He understands.
If you'd been on stage, Esther, I should have given you a superlative review.
Dear God, what's come over me?
I don't know what possessed me.
Well, I do. I seem to have bought you a more interesting birthday present than I'd thought.
Gerald, promise me that you won't play the piano again at the party.
I promise no such thing. I wasn't looking forward to this party very much.
That's a lot of boxes that do different things. Be curious to see what they all do. Commercial.
Jerry?
What's up?
Scotch?
Of course. You're unusually cordial tonight. That is your smile you're wearing, isn't
I
it?
took it out of cold storage in honor of Esther's birthday.
Well, not I. I don't plan to smile all evening. Imply a certain sticky human involvement which I'd much rather avoid.
Ooh, I'd always gathered you were something of a ladies' man, rather thickly involved.
I'm much too selfish to fall in love.
He's gonna fall in love with his wife. I'm just calling it. I don't know.
By the way, where's the birthday girl?
Oh, she's still at her makeup table. Her emotions were showing, and she's covering up a little. Tell me!
Man, heartless.
A little toy I found for her.
Well, I haven't seen one of those old jobs in years.
Plays remarkably well. Let me show you. I have a piece especially for you. Romantic, wouldn't you say?
Quite.
Is Esther pleased with it?
She hasn't shown any great enthusiasm.
Usually she's so grateful for any small show of affection. I think that's one of her most lovable qualities.
You're in love with her. I knew something along those lines was gonna come up.
I remember I once gave her a small ring, a turquoise ring.
Oh, I remember when she brought that ring back from Mexico City, but I seem to recall that she went there alone.
Yes, she did.
Oh.
She never mentioned it. Wasn't that rather an odd coincidence?
Has it ever occurred that I'm very deeply in love with your wife?
I knew it.
My dear Greg, I always believed that you were about as capable of passion as a head of lettuce.
No, Esther at all. Esther is full of love. Her skin is warm and soft like velvet.
How do you know?
The scent of her hair is enough to drive a man wild. Esther is music.
No.
Honey, Esther is...
Oh, I'm sorry you did that, my dear.
Esther, I'm sorry. Can't explain what happened.
Probably just as well. I never enjoyed deceiving you, Gerald.
Cheater.
Incapable of deceiving me. I've known for years of your capacity for doing any number of sordid little things. Specific details of your squalid little affair. Oh, our guests are arriving. I wish you a happy birthday, my dear, and hope that the next 26 years will be equally rewarding.
Gerald, please don't use the piano again tonight. It's not something that you fool with.
I'm using it with deadly accuracy.
What's next on the table?
Marge, my dear, do come in.
Well, don't just stand there devouring me with your eyes. Kiss me, you fool.
Marge, I'm really vexed with you. You promised me the next time I saw you, you'd be as svelte as an antelope.
But somehow I always manage to get thrown before the finish line. Happy. Do you realize it's been months since you've called me? Somebody else been taking my place?
Yep.
As a matter of fact, yes.
His wife.
Or I just might scratch her eyes out. Or worse yet, just sit on her and mash her to death.
Oh my. She's self-deprecating.
Darling, you look ravishing. How are you?
Come in.
Oh, Mary.
Happy birthday!
Hey, good to see you.
Marvel.
Oh, finger foods.
Don't you have one?
Not with my diet.
Diet? What's that?
Anywhere, on the floor will be fine.
Not me. I'd never be able to get up.
Man, keep putting yourself down.
Tonight, I thought rather than cater to your juvenile mentalities, we might perhaps have a rather more adult game.
When are we going to cut the cake? I'm hungry.
We'll find hors d'oeuvre within arm's reach. We shall need a volunteer. Well, in the absence of a volunteer, I shall have to conscript someone. Marge Moore.
Me?
Okay, Svengali.
All I want you to do is to listen to some music, my dear.
All right. Oh, this one too. Always think of the end of Ocean's 11 when I hear it.
Talk to me, Marge. Tell me what you're feeling.
My name isn't Marge.
What is it?
What is your name?
Tina.
Tina?
Who are you, Tina?
I'm a little girl.
What?
Oh, I love to dance.
All right, Tina. Dance for us.
Oh no. This is kind of mean.
Are you always Tina? What else are you, Marge?
Pretend that I'm a snowflake. I float on the air of a pale blue moonlit night. I'm never lonely and slender. Oh, and I'm loved. I see a man and reach that hand. I'm enclosed by his warmth and I melt with his love.
She's wanting love too. She's alone. Why are you laughing? He's a jerk. Something bad should happen to him.
I chose you especially because I thought you'd enjoy a joke.
That's not a joke. That's kind of mean there, dude. Gotta go. Oh, she's gonna take a seat.
Gerald, don't you think that we've had enough of that piano for tonight?
Not quite. I hardly think we shall get a volunteer, but that doesn't matter. Esther, put this on the piano. Now, cheer up, darling. It's only a game.
Oh, she's changing it. What does this do?
Now, this is going to be Faust. So if there really is a devil among us, we shall know it soon enough.
Here we go. Whatever this one does. Go to sleep.
Say something, devil.
I'm afraid.
Uh-oh.
Shut up, devil.
I'm I'm afraid of the dark.
Oh no, it's affecting him.
You're just a poor, frightened kid.
That's a secret.
Tell us your secret, Jerry.
I'm afraid of you all.
Why?
Small, frightened boy. He only likes to hurt people, and I can't stop him from doing it. Did you know that I envied you, Marge? And in my envy, I released that frightened child inside me, and I let him hurt you. I gave bad reviews to your plays when I should have given praise. And I hurt you in every childish way I could.
Think we'd better go.
Esther,
Uh-oh.
I've hurt you most of all.
Party's over.
I don't know how to return love except as a child does. Blows and indifference.
Night, Esther.
Good night.
Will you come with me?
Oh, you gotta make the choice.
Come back! If you leave me, I'm going to be very naughty!
Uh-oh. Don't you hate that when it's used against you? Uh-oh.
Don't laugh at me.
I'm not laughing, Mr. Fortune. You're not funny anymore.
Mr. Fitzgerald Fortune, a man who went searching for concealed persons and found himself in the Twilight Zone.
Interesting. That was an interesting episode compared to other ones. I just didn't know what to expect, honestly. It kind of ended abruptly, as if I thought there was going to be like a third act to all of this, and it felt like it ended like on the second act to me. I mean, it definitely kept me enthralled, and when it ended, I was just like, whoa, it's done? What the hell? You know, I wanted to see more of this episode, which I guess in the end means I definitely enjoyed it. Not my favorite of the season. Look for my top 5 and bottom 5 of the season when we get to the end of this. I always do a podcast at the end of the season, so that's always going to be a fun ride to get into. But definitely enjoyed the episode overall, and really curious to see if but it was just something about the ending that was just very abrupt to me that just kind of took me out of it a little bit. So that's why it didn't make a strong impact on me compared to other episodes. Anyways, let's dive into some trivia and see what it took to get this episode off the ground. When Marge first arrives at the party, Fitzgerald comments on her weight, to which he replies, "I've been on more diets than Arcaro has horses." Eddie Arcaro was a Hall of Fame jockey who won more classic races than any other jockey in history, and the only jockey to win the U.S. Triple Crown twice. Arcaro retired from racing in 1962. The year that this teleplay first aired. On the front of the piano is a face. The face is a New Zealand Mari Tiki. Barry Morse, who plays Fitzgerald Fortune, later played Frank in Dream Me a Life. Every time the player piano is used, the emotions of the listener reflect whatever song is playing. When the grouchy shopkeeper listens to I'm in the Mood for Love, he briefly becomes sentimental and generous. When Marvin hears Smiles, he begins smiling and admits that he's more lighthearted than he lets on. When the usually cool-headed Esther listens to Sobre Dance, a musical number where ballet dancers dance with swords, she goes on a rant about how unhappy and frustrated she is with her uncaring husband. When the mild-mannered playwright Greg hears These Foolish Things Remind Me of You, he reveals that he's deeply in love with Esther, and they even had a tryst. When enthusiastic and self-deprecating party guest Marge listens to Claire de Lune, she reveals her deepest and most heartfelt dreams. Finally, when Jerry hears Lullaby, he reveals his lack of emotional maturity and acts in a childish manner. Definitely caught on to all of those. Anyways, let me know, comment below what you thought of it, and I will go over your comments in next week's episode. And until next time, see you later.